I would like to ask you, Charlie, what was your impression of yesterday? What was your general feeling about the entire conference and the protest?
Well, yesterday was, I guess it was more for the alternative media and the people. It was a lot of speakers, and it was an extraordinary feeling in the paddock, or do we call it, the field, the press zone. Lots and lots of people being turned away. Something like 2,000 people in the field listening to speakers, and with the conference venue in the background, you know, England looking at its best, the sun shining. It was amazing. It was really inspiring, and we had an MP come down, Michael Meacher. He spoke, and that was amazing. That was kind of old school politics, getting up on a stage and climbing up there and speaking to people with a microphone. It was really fun, and I loved it. It was I think everyone had a pretty good time.
Yeah. How did you become yourself involved in the issue of Bilderberg? How did you get to know that phenomenon?
Probably from just skulking around the internet at first, coming across this thing. I wonder what this is, and looking at it first of all from the point of view of a journalist, and thinking it seems odd that this thing, which clearly does exist, it's documented, hasn't really been covered by the news media, and there seems to be some story about the fact that the news media don't cover it, and that seemed to be a bit of an issue with people. And so I just thought, oh, that's odd. And then I started to think about it, and I thought, well, maybe I could just go along and be a journalist properly, sort of. And spoke to the Guardian, said, can I write about this? They said, yeah. I said, it's over in Greece. I'm going to go and fly over, see if I can find it. Might be fun. They said, okay, great. Sounds interesting. I went and did that, and that was in 2009. And very big difference between then and now. You know, virtually no one outside the gates in 2009. Virtually no press, apart from just a very few sparse alternative media. And yeah, this year, mainstream press, TV, news, international, national stations, national newspapers, news agencies, you know, Reuters,
Right.
Associated Press. I could go on. Press Association. It was extraordinary.
Right. And is it safe to say that you became more passionate as you reported from 2009 on to this time? I mean, reporting on it. Did you get more passionate about the issue, about the secrecy?
Yeah, I wasn't passionate at all at first. I mean, I thought it was funny. I went along. I remember thinking, oh, this might be funny. I literally remember going, oh, I might get followed. I wonder if this guy's following me. That'd be funny. I could write about that.
Right.
You know, maybe I'll pretend someone's following me. You know, a day later, someone's following me, and it got really weird. And then I was being followed everywhere, and it started to get more oppressive. I think my room was gone into. I wasn't even sure who was following me. And then I started being arrested quite a lot by the Greek police, the Vouliagmeni, and the local police there were being quite heavy-handed, and I was still being followed by plainclothes guys, and I didn't know what was going on. And it was really stressful, and so there was no press pack or anything. There was just a few people, sort of disparate people, and so I was very much on my own. So I got in a cab and I went, oh, forget this, I'm going to Athens. I left off halfway through the conference and just went to Athens. I thought, oh, I'm just going to go to a hotel here. I literally got out of the cab, I turned around, there's two guys on motorcycles, and they followed me around, and then I had 10 people at any one time following me, which was the most overstaffed piece of, over-policed bit of surveillance you could imagine, because I wasn't doing anything. I would actually go up to them and say, I'm just going to go over to there, I'm in my hotel now, and it got more and more oppressive around Athens. I spoke to different policemen and different heads of police, and said, who are these people following me? Who is it? And they said, they don't know, maybe it's private security of someone at the conference. I kept pushing, and they said, next time it happens, make a citizen's arrest.
Right.
This is the police told me to. So I did, right? Ended up wrestling with a guy in the Athens underground. It was all totally dystopian and horrible, like something like the Parallax View or something. It was just really nasty. Ended up jumping in a cab at some point saying, take me to the embassy. Went to the British Embassy, it was shut, it was a Sunday, that wasn't great. So yeah, through this process of being harassed, totally unnecessarily, I mean, it was ridiculous.
Right.
I suppose it made me a little bit more radicalised.
Right.
Radicalised, not in any like
No.
bricks through windows sort of way, but engaged, perhaps is a better word, with the issue. The question I'd ask about Bilderberg would be how does it fit? How does it fit as a political summit in with our understanding of politics today and how we want it done? So, my question would be: is the way Bilderberg acts and the people that go to Bilderberg act, is that how we want our politicians to act? I think it's a question of parliamentary standards and political ideals, and I think it's to do as well with how we want to be represented and how we want our politicians to represent us. And you hear a lot, I think we've discussed it, you hear a lot about people saying, they're having a chat, people have chats all the time, things got to get done, decisions have got to get made, these guys have got to meet. Better they just all get together in a nice place and have a nice chat. And I think, fine, what you're saying there is essentially let mummy and daddy get on with it. Let the parents deal with the difficult stuff. I'm okay, I'm going to watch telly, I'm just going to switch off here. They're fine, they're going to get on with it. And it feels very adolescent and not very adult. And the way that the delegates behave isn't very adult. You see them, even this year, and every time I see it I get amazed, hiding behind their newspapers. I mean, what are they doing? These are grown men and women who run giant corporations or sort of heads of academic institutions or what are they doing? Or they're politicians, they're probably finance ministers, literally hiding behind papers. That's not a way to behave. None of this is a way for any adults to behave. And that's for me what it's about. It's about behaviour and how we want our politicians to behave.
Right. Just one follow-up question to that. The private capacity in which Bilderberg invites members. Do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the. What's happened is, over the years, a little bit of scrutiny has been given to what Bilderberg says about itself, which has only been in the last few years that they put a website out. And the website said things like all participants attend in a private capacity, which is just not true. I mean, any number of the politicians have been asked through the years, are you going officially, and saying yes. I mean, it happened to George Osborne in 2011. We asked the Treasury, is he there officially? Yes. I think you were telling me, or someone was, that the Dutch Prime Minister was asked, and was asked whether he went officially, and he said yes. So that was it's just nonsense. It's a major international summit. So should it be private? I don't know. Obviously, summits have to happen, but I don't know whether the people around the table, that particular mix, really fits with an international diplomatic summit. It doesn't. It's got the heads of private equity funds and giant industrial conglomerates. I mean, really vast $100 billion funds. Holding companies. It's silly. These aren't people that should have a seat at the table of a private meeting with finance ministers and foreign ministers and prime ministers without any press oversight. Anyway, that's what I think, for what it's worth.
You're having an affair with a lady. You've been denying you've been having an affair with a lady. Completely. No way, didn't happen, never touched her. Someone opens the door and sees you with the lady. You jump up, you're rubbing yourself down. Nothing happened, that's the stage they're at now.